Arthur, the mastermind. A retired engineer, sharp as a tack, eyes that missed nothing. He knew London's underbelly like his own garden. Then there was Benny, the safecracker. Once a renowned locksmith, now his nimble fingers itched for one last challenge. Charlie, the muscle. Ex-military, his imposing figure hid a heart of gold, and a right hook that could fell an ox. And lastly, David, the charmer. A former actor, his silver tongue could charm the birds from the trees and, more importantly, security codes from unsuspecting guards. They were an unlikely bunch, brought together by circumstance in a city that had long forgotten them. Their days were filled with the mundane routine of retirement, their evenings with the echoes of what could have been, until Arthur decided it was time to rewrite their final act. It all started with a news report. A dazzling diamond necklace, the Eye of Orion, on display at the London Diamond Exchange. Millions of pounds worth of sparkling temptation, guarded by state-of-the-art security. The Grandpa Gang, as they came to be known, was back in business. Arthur, haunted by the memory of the factory he couldn't save, the workers he couldn't protect, his engineering genius wasted on crossword puzzles and Sudoku. Benny, the weight of his family's expectations a heavy burden, he traded his passion for security for the drudgery of a 9-to-5 he never enjoyed. Charlie, the horrors of war etched into his memory, the camaraderie of the battlefield a distant echo. And David, the stage lights long extinguished, his voice now only captivating an audience of one, his reflection in the mirror. Together they were a symphony of unfulfilled potential, a chorus of what-ifs and might-have-beens. But Arthur's plan offered them a chance for redemption, a shot at rewriting their narratives. The heist wasn't just about the diamonds. It was about reclaiming their dignity, their pride, their very identities. The Grandpa Gang, fueled by regret and driven by hope, was a force to be reckoned with. The Eye of Orion was the perfect target, a priceless artifact. Its theft would send shockwaves through the city. Arthur, ever the strategist, saw it as a giant chess game. The security system, the guards, the layout of the exchange, they were all pieces to be maneuvered, outsmarted, overcome. Benny, his eyes lighting up at the challenge, dusted off his old tools. The lock on the display case was a work of art, but to Benny, it was a symphony waiting to be played. Charlie, his military training kicking in, took charge of logistics and reconnaissance. David, ever the charmer, honed his skills on unsuspecting tourists, gleaning information, spinning tales and perfecting his disguises. The plan took shape, a testament to their combined experience and ingenuity. The die was cast, the stage set, the curtain about to rise on their final act. Their plan hinged on timing, precision and a healthy dose of distraction. The annual Diamond Ball, a glamorous affair held at the exchange itself, was their chosen night. While the city's elite mingled amongst the glittering jewels, the Grandpa Gang would be hard at work. Arthur, disguised as a catering staff, would disable the main security system, creating a window of opportunity. Benny, armed with his trusty tools and a lifetime of experience, would tackle the display case. Charlie, his imposing figure strategically hidden amongst the waiters, would provide muscle and act as lookout. David, the master of disguise, would be the charming guest, his silver tongue captivating a group of socialites. While they were enthralled by his tales, he would be subtly maneuvering them, blocking their view of the heist. The night of the ball arrived, and London shimmered with anticipation. Limousines lined the streets, their occupants dripping in diamonds and draped in designer gowns. The Grandpa Gang, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and exhilaration, took their positions. The clock struck 11, the appointed hour. Arthur, his heart pounding beneath his borrowed uniform, slipped unnoticed into the security room. His years of experience melted away as he expertly bypassed the alarms, his fingers flying across the keypad. Meanwhile, Benny, disguised as a janitor, calmly wheeled his cleaning cart toward the display case. The Eye of Orion sparkled under the spotlights, a beacon of temptation and their ticket to freedom. He took a deep breath, the familiar weight of his tools comforting in his trembling hands. Outside, Charlie, his eyes scanning the crowd, felt a familiar surge of adrenaline. He blended seamlessly amongst the waiters, his imposing figure strangely out of place yet invisible in the throng of partygoers. David, debonair in his borrowed tuxedo, was the life of the party. His tales, a mixture of truth and fabrication, kept his audience captivated, their attention diverted from the drama unfolding just feet away. The tension in the room was palpable, a silent hum that only the Grandpa gang could perceive. What they hadn't accounted for was a wild card, a security guard, young and ambitious, eager to prove himself. He had noticed Arthur's unusual behavior, the slight tremor in his hand, the flicker of unease in his eyes. His suspicions piqued. He decided to investigate, unaware that his curiosity would set in motion a chain of events that would forever alter the course of the heist. The guard's quiet footsteps behind him sent a chill down Arthur's spine. He had been so close, his fingers hovering over the final button that would grant them access. He cursed under his breath, his mind racing for a solution. He couldn't let this young upstart jeopardize everything they had worked for. He had to act, and fast. A split-second decision. Arthur turned, feigning a coughing fit, his face contorted in a mask of discomfort. The guard, taken aback by the elderly man's apparent distress, hesitated. It was all the time Arthur needed. With surprising agility, he slammed his elbow into the guard's chest, sending him reeling backwards. With the security system disabled, Benny went to work. The click of his tools against the lock of the display case was the only sound that punctuated the muffled music and distant chatter of the party. He worked with the precision of a surgeon, his movements swift and sure, his focus unwavering. The lock, as if sensing its impending defeat, yielded with a soft click. Benny's heart soared as he carefully lifted the heavy glass lid. The eye of Orion glittered under the soft lights, its brilliance captivating. He gently removed the necklace, its weight surprisingly light in his hands. He had done it. They had done it. Charlie, his eyes fixed on the exit, cleared their path, his imposing figure parting the crowd like the Red Sea. David, his voice smooth as silk, bid farewell to his captivated audience, a sly smile playing on his lips. Now it was time for their final act, the getaway. They escaped into the labyrinthine streets of London, the eye of Orion safely tucked away. Adrenaline coursed through their veins, a potent cocktail of fear and exhilaration. They had done it. Against all odds, they had succeeded. Back at their makeshift headquarters, a dingy basement flat in the heart of the city, they celebrated their triumph. Cheap whiskey flowed, laughter filled the air, and for a brief moment, time seemed to stand still. They were not seasoned criminals, hardened by years of living on the edge. They were just four ordinary men who had dared to dream, who had refused to let age define their final chapter. Their success was a testament to their enduring spirit, their unwavering belief in themselves, but their victory was short-lived. It was a seemingly insignificant detail that led to their downfall. A cigarette butt, discarded outside their hideout. Charlie, a creature of habit, had forgotten his usual caution. He hadn't realized that even the most insignificant actions can have far-reaching consequences. The police, desperate for a lead, pounced on the clue. DNA analysis quickly led them to Charlie. And from there, it was only a matter of time before the rest of the gang fell like dominoes. The arrest was swift, almost anticlimactic. The Grandpa gang, their moment in the sun over, seemed almost relieved. The verdict, when it came, was swift and predictable. Guilty on all counts. The judge, a stern woman with a no-nonsense demeanor, looked at the four elderly men standing before her. She had seen it all during her years on the bench, but even she couldn't help but feel a tinge of sympathy for these aging criminals. They were hardly hardened criminals, more like mischievous grandfathers who had taken a wrong turn. But the law was the law, and she had to uphold it. Their sentences, however, reflected the unusual circumstances of the case. House arrest, for all four of them. A collective gasp filled the courtroom, followed by a smattering of applause. The judge, her face impassive, allowed the outburst to continue for a moment before restoring order. While I cannot condone your actions, she said, her voice surprisingly gentle, I also cannot ignore the fact that you are unlikely to pose a threat to society. Consider this your final curtain call, gentlemen. Make it count.